Hello, everybody, and welcome to Speaking of Sustainability, the show where we introduce you to the leaders and change agents making a difference in the sustainability space. I'm your host, Colleen Falicki. After starting my composting business in 2017, I quickly realized that our communities are looking for more ways to be sustainable in their daily lives and to support eco-friendly businesses. I'm so excited to introduce you to some sustainable superheroes as we all look to make our planet a better place for years to come. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Speaking of Sustainability. I'm your host, Colleen Falicki, and today I'm super excited to introduce you to our guest. But before we do, as you know, we like to talk about a fact in the sustainability world, or in our world, that I'd like everyone to just think about and contemplate and how we can make change. But the US EPA reports that wasted food accounts for the largest portion of American trash by weight, more than 66 million tons a year. That's crazy. And actually, this is a passion of mine. I have a compost company, and we work with folks in the community that have food waste, and we take it to be composted. And we see it every day, and it's just something that everyone, I feel like, should be aware of and be mindful of in their houses, or in the community and restaurants and things like that. So we can all make a change if we work together. So now I'd like to introduce you to our guest, Victoria Vespico. She is, and as you'll see here, she's amazing. At such a young age, she's done so much already, but she's the founder of Sustainability Starts With You, host of Sisters in Sustainability podcast. She has a 2023 Venture for America Fellow, and also Miss Lancaster County. So please welcome Victoria. Hello.
Hi. Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here with you, and especially to, be talking about something that is so incredibly and increasing important in our world.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much. When I was introduced to you, I just right away was like, absolutely would love to speak with her and share your mission and what you do with our audience. So tell us, without further ado, about yourself and how you got started on your sustainability journey.
Absolutely. Well, hi, everybody. My name is Victoria Vespico. As Colleen so wonderfully told everybody, I am the current Miss Lancaster County, and I'm a candidate for the title of Miss Pennsylvania. But more importantly, I'm the founder of Sustainability Starts With You, which is a sustainable development education program focused on educating, empowering, and encouraging people everywhere to embrace sustainability for the next generation. I've been a Girl Scout for 19 years and counting, and it's one of my proudest accomplishments in life. And so 19 years ago, I took an oath to make the world a better place. And at that time, I could not have imagined how deeply rooted sustainability and sustainable practices would be into my daily life, and what a passion it would become of mine to help make the world a more sustainable place for the next generation. And so that's really where my sustainability journey started. I'm also a Penn State graduate, and for anybody who is familiar with Penn State or has ever gone to Penn State, sustainability and the Sustainable Development Goals from the United Nations are huge on all of our campuses, huge in all of our curriculums. And in fact, there are a couple of classes that are solely dedicated to educating about sustainable development. So my education and my time there really kind of helped me develop my love for sustainability, and helped me create the program that I'm working with now.
I love that. I was reading a little about you and the school's sustainability initiatives, and I never knew that. So it's great to hear that that's something that you were learning in college, or actually, participating in. I feel like sustainability, learning about it should start at a young age. So with that in mind, tell me a little bit about, I guess, the program that you've created for the youth.
So Sustainability Starts With You is just that. It's a program that tries to educate our youth about what sustainability is, how they can take part in sustainability, and how they can then encourage others to do the same. I know that our youth are our future, and I think that's probably one of the most common things that we say, but it really is true. So by equipping students and young people with the tools necessary and the knowledge necessary to know what sustainability is and how to create sustainable change, further down the line, they're going to be far better educated and far better ready to make sustainable change and live a sustainable lifestyle.
That's fantastic. And is this a program that is provided in schools or like with the Girl Scouts or other organizations?
So right now I'm partnering with some PA legislators to create or to turn Sustainability Starts With You into a DARE-like program where schools can opt in to have the option of participating in the program. Me and members of my team would come in, distribute that program on a weekly, monthly, whatever the school determines as their comfortability level basis. And then we would, of course, like a DARE program, offer different certifications, offer different understanding about what sustainability is and how they can participate in it. It's also something I have worked with through Scouts. So right now I'm trying to partner with Boy Scouts of America and Girl Scouts of America to create a national badge work program related to sustainability as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. My daughter was a Girl Scout. Actually, I was a Girl Scout as well. So I don't remember any sustainability programs, but I think that is super important. It's in everything we do. Is, we have to consider it. We have to consider leaving our planet, our communities, in a better place. So, or in our daily lives, everything we do there's a component of should I buy this? How can I use less? How can I reuse it? Or, when you go to get rid of it, where is it going? Right. So
Absolutely. Yeah, that responsible consumption and production of products is like even more important nowadays, especially as we're watching our communities grow.
yeah. So if you could speak to all the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts right now and give them a bit of advice, what would it be?
Take action because you're the only person who's going to make change. There's no point to wait around for somebody to come and save you. You need to be the person who's going to do the saving. So to all of the young people out there who want to see the world be different, who want to see positive change happen, go out there and take part in it, because if you're not doing it, nobody else around you will.
That's well said. That's awesome. I'm familiar with the UN's 17 Sustainable Goals and Simple Changes challenges, but can you tell our audience about that?
Absolutely. So in 2015, the United Nations put forth 17 sustainable development goals centered around improving the quality of life for the global population. Of course, this comes in tandem with the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda. The United Nations is the one place in the world where every country can find representation to talk about issues that are impacting them. So because our world is so diverse and the issues facing every nation are different, the United Nations wanted to create a sustainable plan that's going to address all of these issues, from global hunger to ending poverty, creating gender equality, to even reforming our social justice systems and finding a partnership within ourselves to create that change.
Wow, that's very well said. And it's good to be able to share those with our community, because I feel like this is something that we all need to know. Like this is global. This is important, and this is continuation here. On our Earth, we have to. It's urgent. We have to make changes. We have to do things. So it's great that it's kind of woven into kind of what you're doing.
Thank you.
So I guess what is something that many people aren't aware of when it comes to sustainability that you'd like to share?
Yeah, so sustainability is such a multifaceted issue. And I think there's a very common misconception, and not even necessarily a misconception, but stereotype, that sustainability is all about climate change. And yes, that is so important, because if we don't have a planet to live on, any other change, any other developing we do is not going to matter. But sustainability is a multifaceted issue. And that's where the 17 Sustainable Development Goals come in, because each one deals with a different issue falling into 4 categories. So there are 4 pillars of sustainability: human, social, economic, and of course, environmental. And each of those goals work with the same theme of making the world a better place for the living creatures that are on it. So whether that's keeping our food and water clean, improving our education systems so that students have the best tools necessary to find success for themselves later, reforming our social justice system so that people are getting the help and getting the justice that they deserve to live in a safe and protected society, to ending global poverty to make sure that people have the food that they need to eat and people are making enough money to be able to survive in their own communities. So when it comes to talking about sustainability, we probably assume that it's all about green action. And yes, to those of us out there who love green action, please keep that up. That's so important. But to those who might be interested in other facets, whether it's economic growth all the way to education, there is some part of the sustainable development movement for you.
Wonderful. Is there a particular, part of the sustainable movement that you choose to focus on, or is it something that it's broad across the board? It's, you'll focus on all of it.
I will say I focus on a lot. Environmental is by far the most important to me, because I think while it seems like a very scary issue, and it is a scary issue, it's also one of the ones that we have the most power to change. Whether it's through who we vote for, whether it's through creating sustainable change on our own, whether it's, impacting our community through community service, or making a simple change in your daily life to create a more green space in your world. Environmental is the most important, but I would say of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, the one that is the least known, but I think is the most important, is Sustainable Development Goal 17, which is Partnership for the Goals, which encourages all of us to take our own individual action to come behind one huge goal, which is, of course, making the world a better place.
Love it. Love it. I love what you're all about. I love what you're bringing to the community, and super, super important. I think you're a great role model, and
Thank you.
Inspiring a lot of young people, or any, of any age. Just if you're doing it and this is something that you're passionate about, I just think that you show a lot of energy and excitement towards it, and I love to see that. So tell us, I guess, I wanted to just talk about how folks can, follow you. Tell us a little bit about where they can find you and follow you and things like that.
Absolutely. So I'll be the first person to say that I hate social media, which I think a lot of people think is funny, because my degree is in communications. I work as a freelance, digital media and brand producer for people. So I hate social media, but I also think it's the greatest tool in the world to spread a message across a wide audience. So people can follow me and the work that Sustainability Starts With You is doing on Instagram at Sustainability Starts With You. I also host my own podcast called the Sisters in Sustainability Podcast, which focuses on highlighting what women are doing to further the sustainable development movement through their own individual causes, whether it's environmental related or any of the other issues in tandem with the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So I love to really utilize my social media as a basis for talking about what changes people can make in their daily lives, different organizations that are creating sustainable change and participating in the sustainable development movement, and really just, like I said, empowering people and impacting them with the tools to create sustainable change and embrace it for themselves.
Fantastic. So don't forget to follow Victoria at Sustainability Starts With You to see what she's up to. You did mention earlier, and I'm going to mention this about, we mentioned it, Miss Lancaster County. And I know you're going to be competing for Miss Pennsylvania coming up. So if you could just share a little bit about that and what that experience has been like.
Yeah, so I mentioned that I've been a Girl Scout for 19 years, which is one of my biggest accomplishments. But I've also been competing in the Miss America organization for 10 years. And so for anybody who might be listening who is familiar with pageants, or competitions. Miss America is one of the oldest competitions in the world, and it is the largest scholarship provider for women in the United States. So I got involved because of my love of community service, but it's also a great way. It's helped me pay for my college degree. Like I said, I graduated from Penn State. And so because of Miss America and the opportunities I've had through there, I graduated virtually debt-free. And what little debt I do have, the Miss America organization is helping me pay off through competition scholarships. I'm going to be competing competing with 28 of Pennsylvania's youngest, brightest, most incredible women, all of whom are representing different causes that are important to them and to our world. So it's going to be a really awesome experience. Every year, it just gets better and better. And so I'm really excited to see all 28 of my Miss America sisters in June. We have orientation in York County in a couple of weeks. So it'll be kind of a nice reprieve to see everybody and get together before we hop in a competition during the second week of June. But tune in, because on June 17th, we're going to have our next Miss Pennsylvania, and we're going to be able to watch her journey as she prepares to compete for Miss America in January.
Wow, that's fantastic. We'll all be watching and cheering and supporting you. So
thank you.
Really enjoying talking with you. We're gonna do a breakdown here. Just kind of discuss a misnomer about the sustainability space. What's kind of one thing you think people should know in the sustainability space that they might think, they might not know, or they might think of it? I know we were chatting about the UN 17 Sustainable Goals, and if there's something that you could talk about to that as far as what might be a misnomer.
Absolutely. So I know that I mentioned that sustainability is a multifaceted issue. And so I think when we talk about sustainability, when we look at what a big problem and what a global issue this is, it can be scary to think of what can I do to change this? And it gets very easy to throw your hands up and say, that's not my problem. Somebody else will deal with that. And that's where sustainability starts with you comes in, because sustainability starts with you. The individual has so much power to impact change. It's ridiculous. And I think that we, for a long time, the collective we, have been told that we don't have power and that we don't have the ability to impact change. And so I'm here to show the world that that's not true. Something as simple as using a reusable water bottle is my number one go-to example. I'm a huge fan of Nalgene water bottles. They are produced in the United States. They're made out of recycled plastic. They're really sturdy. Anybody who's an adventurer has an Nalgene water bottle. By using one reusable water bottle for a year, a person can help eliminate more than 156 single-use water bottles from production, which is a huge impact. And so when I've through Miss America been on stage and I talk about that metric, and I say there's 50 people in this room, or there's 100 people in this room. Think about if every single person in this room used a reusable water bottle. We would never need single-use plastics again. Absolutely. And so that individual impact of what we can do to create a sustainable world is what I really want people to take away from my message. Sustainability starts with you.
Well said. That's a huge impact that one person can make just by the water bottle. One thing. It's so important to talk about that. So wow. I feel like if there's, what would you say? We're gonna wrap it up here. What would you say, like, if there is one thing that someone could do? I don't know, be it the water bottle or, one change that someone could do. What would you suggest?
Yeah, so I like to talk about simple changes in our daily lives. And so if anybody follows me on Instagram or on social media, you'll hear me talk about our simple changes and the hashtag simple changes challenges that exist in the world. But I think the one thing we can do is try. Sustainability doesn't need to be perfect. There are times where it's unavoidable that even though I carry my Nalgene water bottle with me every single day, sometimes I don't have the opportunity to refill it and I need to grab a single-use plastic. So I make sure that I dispose of that plastic properly, that it's being recycled, and it's going somewhere where I know it's not going to end up in a landfill or it's not going to end up in our oceans. So the one piece of advice, if I can give to anybody, is when you're creating sustainable change, is to remember that imperfect sustainability is better than no sustainability. And imperfect sustainability is good sustainability, because any action is going to help it create a brighter, greener, more sustainable world for the next generation.
Wonderful. Yep. Action. Take action, right? If you can walk away with something here today, take action, do one thing, take Victoria's advice. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I'm so glad I got the opportunity to talk with you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a privilege.
Oh, thanks. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we head out?
Yeah, absolutely. All I implore everybody to do is go out, look at your life, and examine and hold yourself accountable for the unsustainable things that you're doing, because we all do them. Even as somebody who's a proud sustainable lifestyle member, I know that there's things that I do that are definitely unsustainable. So go out there, take accountability for your actions, and commit yourself to making one sustainable change for a better, brighter world.
Wonderful. Thanks again.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you for tuning in to another awesome episode of Speaking of Sustainability. Please follow and support our guests as we encourage you to continue doing your part to make a difference in our global community. And don't forget to rate, like, and share. See you next time.